ago, I set 8 ordinary British men...
Go for it.
...and 8 ordinary British women...
Go.
...an extraordinary challenge. To survive on a remote Pacific island...
Shit.
...filled with dangerous wildlife...
No.
...and lashed by tropical storms.
It was just like when we used to get moored in Iraq.
And for the first time, I wanted the men and women to survive together.
There's boys there!
So this time on the island, we're undoubtedly shaking it up in a way we've never done before.
I'll just talk first, yeah? If you want to talk, put your hand up.
Men, really, you.
What will happen?
When they're really under pressure, they're fighting for every breath and bit of water and morsel of food.
Look at this boy, his skin and bone.
Tonight, I discover how the men and women really coped.
It is the most scariest place you'll ever be.
And the secrets they used to stay alive.
Here we go.
Find out how island life affected them.
I don't know why I'm getting emotional.
I was that far away from quitting and jacking.
And how it felt to finally leave. One month after dropping everyone off on the island, I returned to see who was left and how they've stayed alive.
Coming this way.
Here he is.
Here he is, Mr. Bear.
Mr. Bear.
I'm so excited to go and pick these guys and girls up. But what's going to be interesting is to see how having boys and girls together for the first time, how that's affected their collective ability to survive.
Here he comes.
Look at you guys.
Good to see you.
About 30 days late, mate.
Total respect to you guys, honestly, for what you've been through.
Well done, guys.
Come and show us your camp then, come on then.
I dropped the men and women off as 2 separate groups. But once they'd met, they decided to face a challenge together.
Our humble abode.
Those are looking pretty good.
The camp they built was basic, but it was enough to protect them from the ravages of a particularly nasty tropical storm season.
So how long did it take you to figure out to make a good roof?
This was built about 10 days ago.
This is a lot more waterproof, do you know? That even when it's been absolutely silent it down, it's not come through this.
Okay, so this has worked.
Yeah. Oh my God!
Look how flooded the whole camp is.
No.
When the first rainstorm hit, it was a real wake-up call.
The frequent torrential downpours took a huge toll on the group.
My hands were like a 90-year-old woman. I cannot tell you how deep the skin went. I was just like, what is happening to me?
The skin is starting to sort of break off and form little ulcers, which is obviously really shit.
Keeping the elements at bay in such extreme conditions was no easy task.
We did build ourselves a shelter that leaked like a sieve.
We'd all just sort of huddle around and it'd be leaking, it wasn't big enough.
I can vividly remember sitting around that fire for literally days on end. It's just relentless.
These guys are managing to sleep somehow. I don't really know how.
One, two.
After weeks of suffering, they finally decided to make some home improvements.
We done an extension.
We're doubling the size of the shelter, essentially.
The difference between having that shelter where once we got it doubled in size and when we didn't have it, and the team spirit and the morale and the attitude was actually quite significant. That took so much of the pain of when it rained away.
Nice, isn't it? That's covered that now, which is great.
You'd think this would be an early thing to do,
Yeah,
a key thing to do, and it's going to improve your life.
Yeah, we didn't.
Was it like you didn't think of it, or just?
I think it's more sleep deprivation, food starvation. Your mind's starved.
Knowing what you know now, what would you do differently? Would you do this day one while you got energy?
Absolutely.
Get a good communal space, cover the fire, something covering the firewood, and then that's it.
Beds?
Yeah.
Let's have a look in here. Did anyone think of maybe using some palm fronds to pad it out a bit, or?
Slept on that for like 29 days. Your back gets used to it, you adapt to it, you suck it up basically.
Would you use your collective warmth? Would you really huddle in?
Back to back. We all have a snuggle, don't we, guys?
With men and women living in such close proximity, there was bound to be a few sparks of physical attraction.
I mean, I was hoping it might be mixed. I brought the smallest bikini with me just in case.
I did fancy quite a few of them. I thought Ben, Elliot and Rob were all pretty hot. And Paddy was very easy on the eye. Paddy was 10 years older. Yeah, I definitely would have, you know, maybe pursued that on the island.
It's quite nice to have a little flirt and stuff as well, like.
Oh yeah, love a good flirt.
So do you have a girlfriend then?
Sarah might have been the only girl that was a bit like, ooh, boys.
Paddy kind of, I think, had a little bit of a crush on Alice when we were out there, which is kind of very sweet.
This is almost like a holiday, Paddy.
Oh no! He did it!
But Paddy's just like my little brother. He's so cute. He's so just lovely and so sweet.
It wasn't going to happen.
Nobody got together, there was no relationship.
That is so far off the agenda. I don't even think I've had a sexual thought for 33 days. All I've had in my head is surviving. You could have put Candice Swampole here, and I won't looked at her twice.
The one thing everybody thinks is that if you're going to put men and women together on an island, it's all going to be about sex. Romance is the last thing on your mind when you're starving, you're hungry, exhausted, stressed.
The island is like the antidote to libido.
The last thing on your mind was kind of sex or the opposite sex.
I genuinely haven't thought about sex for a month.
I literally, my penis has been inverted.
I swear to you, it's like a tenth of the size it normally is.
Yeah.
There's just no point in having it. I pee like once every 2 days. It may as well just sort of be
A little hole.
yeah, a little hole.
Yeah.
You don't need the shaft.
Imagine having to have sex now. I'm not being funny. I'm fucking exhausted. I would probably just lay there like a sack of potatoes. It's weird because you're all like practically naked as well. So you think that everyone just be like, oh my God. But you're just like, get away from me, you stink.
I know, it's all these women with like multiple lacerations and bumps all over the skin. It's so sexy. Oh, not forgetting the smell that both of us are emitting.
Oh yeah.
It's like a nightclub in southeast Kent.
This was the first time I'd put both sexes on the island together, and I wondered how they'd tackled the business of survival as a mixed group.
What do you think the difference between how women approach it and men?
The blokes, I think it's our competitive streak. We all wanted to go for the caiman, the shark, like the big kills, and we don't care if we don't eat for a week as long as we get that one big kill.
The boys definitely did start be those match people going out to hunt, etc.
Smack me right in the head.
It does make you feel like a hero, bringing it all back to camp and everyone's going absolutely nuts.
But that sort of changed.
The girls would fight to go hunting. They would fight to do some of the more macho things.
Me, Evercott and Zoe are going out hunting.
What will happen if you see it approach the trap?
We'd probably do the same as what you would do if you saw the turkey, Elliot. Like, what are you going to do when you find a turkey? I'm going to fucking kill it. What do you think I'm going to do? Do you think I'm less of a person than you because you're a man?
By the end, gender didn't really come into it.
The girls hunted just as much, didn't they? It's not like saying that the boys wanted the glory moments. I think the girls did as well.
Tilly's determination eventually paid off.
The spot we go to now is where Tilly found the turkey.
It was just here. Zoe was like, fuck. And I was like, I didn't really know how to break his neck or anything, so I had to chop his head off. Oh, yeah. But I was like, it's moving so much, help me!
It's great,
I
she
was like-
turned feral, I love it.
I was like, I just didn't even...
It would have been a huge mistake to think that the men should do the building and the hunting and the women just sit in camp and tend the fire. Men and women are interchangeable in almost every arena.
Having a poo in the rocks.
They certainly shared the same dilemmas when it came to their daily ablutions.
I've got the worst diarrhea ever. Ever.
Talking of toilet, how did you figure that out?
Just went, didn't you? You had to get over it.
Go, wash in the sea.
Sea is
Where,
a good
in the
friend.
sea?
Yeah. In the sea, yeah.
Sometimes you'd be sitting there for like 20 minutes. You dug a little hole and you're waiting for it to go, but you can't go in case anybody goes past you, so you're just sort of standing there
You're
waiting.
so polite.
I know, right?
Just what are you waiting for the? It's like waiting for the cistern to fill up.
Yeah.
I mean, there were a few that did it in the sea, and it popped up next to them. They weren't expecting that.
There's nothing fresh about sea poo, is there?
It's not nice.
Sea poo, it's like, the only way I described it is, it's like having a poo, but you're in the toilet of the water bowl.
Yeah, exactly. You went the wrong way. It's the wrong way around.
Yeah, it's like you're too small and you're falling in the lid.
Like one time I was having poo and got washed over by a wave and ended up like in the shallows with my poo. It was just like, how has my life come to this?
Something that constipation I didn't think would be too bad of a problem, but that became a major issue. Some haven't been since we landed.
Well, some people here haven't had a crap.
They did one on day 2, and that's it.
Really? So who's that?
That's Chris.
Fuck off. Chris only had one poo. No, that's... How? No, that's impossible. I swear he's lying.
I've got a bit in the bank, haven't I?
And he's been having tummy pains, and I said, well, that's because it's just piling up and piling up and piling up, my friend.
My goodness, so, wow, yeah.
Yeah, so there's going to be a storm somewhere.
Yeah.
He only had one poo.
I had a poo after about 3 or 4 days when I went on the island. And then that was it for me.
My God, where did all the food go?
I just didn't have a poo till I got off the island. But wow, did I flipping know about it. It must have been like a cricket ball.
When it came to dealing with constipation, some of the women had a technique not available to the men.
I've had a go. Yeah, I have. You know, with a bit of assistance, Bear Grylls sort of style-ish.
What did you do?
I have a way of getting my poo up. Thank you very much.
Oh, God. You just fill me in. No? Okay.
There's a certain entrance somewhere where you can do it, give it a little push.
I marooned 8 men and 8 women on this remote Pacific island.
Here he is, Mr. Bear!
A month later, I returned to see how the survivors fared.
Look at you guys.
Good to see you.
Did you have any times where the fire went out?
No.
So 33 days you've had a fire straight?
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive considering the amount of rain you've had.
Yeah.
Making fire was one of the men and women's most important survival priorities. But marooned separately, each group had to do it for themselves.
Fuck off.
We didn't just spend hours and hours, we spent days trying to get a fire going.
Bear taught us how to make it, spark it up. I didn't know how to do this. That sort of spindle, this sort of da-da-da-da. Do this, great. In the field, not a chance.
The women got their fire going with far less trouble.
Put it down, please.
I was being called to teach them how to do the fire. I literally have lived in the bush, so I learnt a lot of things like that.
Erica, it's safe to say I don't think we would have done that without your very important input.
Erica is a character. She was awesome. She was a bit fucking hardcore, like Jungle Jane.
Did they actually do it in 20 minutes? Did they? Oh, God, that's pretty embarrassing, isn't it?
Yes! We've just seen a group of people. What the fuck?
When the men and women did finally come together,
I mean, my heart's pounding.
the men were eager to prove their masculinity.
I win, you stupid piece of wood.
There was a few alpha males in there who were like, you know, we're strong big men, we need to build stuff.
I think the guys dominated, we just imposed ourselves.
I mean, I see it so often that men, you know, approach things very cocky.
Shane, no, I'll lift that for you, doll.
Pumped with testosterone, desperate to prove themselves. But actually, survival is always a marathon, not a sprint. And the worst thing you can do is burn yourself out.
Men think like that, don't they?
Slam dunk!
As the experiment wore on, the men, having 10% less body fat,
I feel weird.
quickly started to suffer.
If you get up too quickly, you just pass out, as like quite a few people did. Paddy passed out more than once, actually.
Jobs were allocated to whoever was capable, and gender became irrelevant.
When you're on there, whatever you can do and bring to the island, you just do it.
Smashed it, guys.
I was quite shocked I was still carrying him jerry cans to the end. Well chuffed.
By the end of it, the women bought exactly what the blokes did. And some blokes were weaker than the women and some women were weaker than the blokes.
It's not about gender, it's about individuals.
It's a numbers game, really. I think it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant to gender. I think it's just about having enough people to do everything and enough hands-on.
To me, it's about character.
Character, yeah.
You know.
I ensured the islanders had enough indigenous animals and vegetation to keep them alive. They just had to find it,
Is that lime? Is that lime?
Fucking limes!
catch it,
Oh, come on, fall on it, rugby tackle.
and kill it.
Okay, I've got it.
It was tough going, but ultimately they found just enough to survive.
I'll chew on a bone, if I may. My word, that is small.
Right, so this is for everyone.
There, we prepared one for you as well.
The group invited me to join them for their last meal on the island.
Oh, that is amazing, isn't it?
Yucca, toasted coconut, and sugarcane.
But you guys are going to understand the power of that.
Yeah.
When you're deprived of sugar and you need energy, that must have been like a great day.
It also goes through you like a Porsche. After.
Like a bull.
It was a humble yet filling feast.
I haven't been starving for 33 days and I can really appreciate the taste of that. It's good, honest, wholesome food. And for you guys, thank you for going to so much effort and sharing that with me.
For the first time since I've started this experiment, the islanders didn't have fish to offer me. Usually the ocean is a good source of food, but not in an El Nino year.
Feels like we're pissing in the wind a little bit. There's no bloody fish.
El Nino causes the sea temperatures to change, warming up the East Pacific. And the fish that normally swim in these waters swim off to find somewhere cooler.
Right, you fish bastards. This is going to get you.
I thought the waters would be absolutely teeming, so I was like, we'll go out, we will catch lots.
Fucking hell.
I really had this image that we'd just be there, like, fishing all day, coming home, having a massive fish dinner. Nothing.
Oh, yeah, man.
I caught loads of pufferfish.
Oh, it's a fucking pufferfish.
But you can't eat them. Well, you couldn't, and you die.
The lack of calories meant the group experienced dramatic weight loss.
Right. We have scales, people.
I don't think any of us need scales to know we've lost weight. Yeah.
Between them, they lost almost 30 stone.
Lily Martin, 55. The girls were like, yes, I've lost like 3 kilos. The boys were like, ah, shit.
Elliot, how much weight have you lost?
7 kilos in total.
Right.
Woo, that's fucking bad.
You know, lost quite a bit of weight.
Your total weight loss is 10 kilos.
Shit. When I was on the island, I lost 3 stone, man. That is just like, I'm buzzing about it.
Although they can laugh about it now, enduring starvation always puts a huge strain on the group.
One of the things I said to you when I dropped you off, I said, remember the value of kindness.
Yeah.
And a few of you looked at me like, huh? But do you understand that now?
Yeah, totally.
You notice how like morale affects the camp of one person. So if one person gets upset or angry, then it affects absolutely everyone in your community, and it's like it's magnified, isn't it?
We've got fuck all set up apart from a fire. Look at that. Look at it. Look at it.
When you're living in a close-knit community and harsh, extreme environment, fracas can erupt about the most ridiculous things.
Doing fuck all while everyone sits on their hands.
I'm being a fucking strong just because you can't.
I didn't do
just
that.
because it's not your race.
Everyone
It takes a lot to
to get me going. But because mentally you're so gone, I just switched.
Riz. I'm not bothered. Everyone can do whatever they want.
Fuck off, mate. Who the fuck are you talking to?
Yeah.
Dickhead.
One person particularly struggled to keep their temper.
Fucking boots right next to the fire.
Erica was just an absolute throat pot.
Shitting fucking brains.
Fuck off, Erica! You're doing my fucking head in.
In the wild, when people are under pressure and your life is on the line, you've got to do all you can to keep a group cohesive and together. Because when it's together, it's strong. It's not strong when it's fragmented and broken. So some of the most important people on the island were the peacemakers.
I think she's struggling. And I think if somebody's struggling, you don't fight fire with fire.
Erica ran the risk of being ostracised all the way through just because of the way she's fiercely independent. She wound people up, but in the normal world, people do wind each other up. That's what happens.
Sometimes you've got to cut people a bit of slack, haven't you? And if you want to get on as a group, then people like Erica, she's definitely unique, slightly cantankerous, but that's part of her.
Yeah, I'm quite independent. I'm a self-employed person all my life, so I have to bite my tongue quite a lot. They've been all lovely. I mean, I can't complain. These trips have been fantastic.
It was vital the group did pull together because this environment is so dangerous. They needed each other to survive.
My biggest fear on the island is always the same. It's about keeping these guys safe. At the end of the day, these guys are there totally on their own. They're operating at the limits of their fatigue and physicality, and stuff happens.
Even the vegetation was potentially lethal. The fruit from the manchineel tree, known as death apples, would kill if the islanders hadn't spotted it.
Hey! Who's put their trousers on there? That's a death apple. They look like lime leaves. If you go along, there they are.
And I just hung my trousers.
You did, and they're all over. They're the death apples, so everything's poisonous. The foliage, the stems, the fruit. Lethal.
Wow. Well, that was stupid.
So did anyone get bitten by scorpions?
Yeah.
Three people.
Oh my God! Ah! Yeah. Can someone grab a knife really quickly?
You just watch the venom literally going through your vein up your arm. And I was thinking...
OK, darling, I'm going to do an injection now, all right?
But just for a split second, as that hot heat hit my vein, I thought, oh, stop it. They're going to kill me.
Well done, sweetheart. Well done. So there you go. This little critter sitting right under Erica's pillow that she used last night. So we don't want him around the camp, so... Little bugger. That's how fast they are.
One of the keys to survival is to judge when the risks outweigh the rewards. To set their fishing nets, there was no option but to brave the vicious rip currents around the island.
We're drifting, aren't we?
The sea could look incredibly calm and peaceful and just like, oh, this is nice. And underneath the water, there is a really strong current.
I think you should come back. You're being pulled away.
When you're in it and you're maybe underwater, Mother Nature has got you by the balls and it's dragging you down.
You tend to forget how close to danger you are. I mean, we pushed the limits on a number of occasions. There's no doubt about that.
Fuck, where's Rob?
I have no idea where Rob is.
The way I was feeling while this was going on was very calm. It was only afterwards it was quite a shock of how close I could have come to drowning. Do not mess with Mother Nature, man. There's our beach.
Oh, here he is.
Yay! It was such a massive relief. I was just so happy to see him.
Force is insane, but really, really scary. Really scary.
A month after marooning 8 men and 8 women on a remote island, I returned to find out how the survivors made it.
You remember the rule of threes taught you in the training?
Yeah.
3 weeks without food, 3 days without water, 3 minutes without air, 3 seconds without thinking.
Literally.
You know, and you witness that.
While on an expedition to find food with the group's youngest member, Patrick, the islanders found out the hard way how bad decisions can quickly change your destiny.
It's strange how you don't realise what sort of stupid stuff you're doing.
Fucking hell.
Like climbing along cliffs with big bags and no safety harnesses or anything.
Shit! Oh, shit! Shit! Paddy, you all right? Paddy, stay there, man!
Oh my God, he's going white. Oh my God.
I feel like sort of heat go through in sort of part of your spine. And I thought this is what it felt like to break my back, and that was terrifying, like utterly terrifying.
My safety team was on call 24/7 in case of emergencies. But even they were at the mercy of the elements.
You need to be in the water to understand the power of the waves. You're like a ragdoll, you have no control. I'm a former Royal Navy commando. I don't scare particularly easily, but I don't mind saying I had a moment of doubt whether we were actually going to survive this whole experience.
Oh my God, what the fuck has happened? Paddy's missing.
Paddy's missing?
Yeah.
What's happened? Is he okay?
Paddy's fallen off a cliff.
I think that was probably one of the scariest moments for me on the island.
It was a real shock. And I think we realised, you know, we're all so vulnerable here.
Remarkably, Patrick was found to have no lasting injuries.
To fall from that height, it is amazing that I got away like unscathed. I mean, I had a bruised bum and an achy back leg. This could have been different. I could have been wheeling around in the wheelchair for the rest of my life.
Really sad. And I miss my team and I want to go back on the island. Because that's where I belong right now.
You don't realise how good it is until you don't have it anymore. And then when you come off, you're like, wow, that was actually insane. I wouldn't change that experience for the world. I'd do it again in a heartbeat.
This place is beautiful, as everyone knows, but the fact you can turn around and just bite you in the arse so quickly.
Well, it's why good survival is actually very undramatic. You don't take a lot of risks. You know, you manage yourself, you're efficient, you conserve energy. You know,
yeah.
It's not so exciting, but it's how you survive.
While physical injury is an obvious danger in this kind of environment, it's easy to underestimate just how much of a psychological toll the island can take.
Hannah, you're right, sure? Hannah, better.
Red.
Just don't like it when it's overhead.
The violence of the tropical thunderstorms triggered war veteran Hannah's post-traumatic stress disorder.
We're in the eye of the storm. Woo! That was just so heartbreaking. She was in so much agony and we couldn't really do that much for her.
In order to get Hannah the help she needed, Dr. Dan radioed the safety team
Hi, Sarah 1, do you read me?
to request an immediate evacuation.
I thought I had beaten what happened to me in Iraq in 2007. I realised I haven't quite beaten it just yet, and that maybe I might never fully beat it. And that was a bit of a shock, actually.
Despite having to leave early, Hannah did take positives from the experience.
Yes! I'm so glad I did it. If I didn't give it a go, I was never going to learn what my limits were as an amputee.
Never thought I'd be able to do something like this, ever.
It's made me go and get some of those coping skills, and so that hopefully in the future I'm going to be a stronger person from it. Never ever taken my youngest daughter, who's 1, swimming, ever. And since I got back from the island, I was brave enough to take her on my own to the swimming pool and get in the water with her. I had to really feel confident to do that because she's a baby. Came back from the island and thought, you know what, I can do it. I know I can do it.
To cope with all of the islanders' medical issues, I put 2 doctors on the island, Dr. Alice and Dr. Dan.
So Dan, you've been the doc for everyone on the island. So has that been pretty full-time for you?
I know coming into the jungle, I tried to prepare people to look after their feet, and then one by one, they all went down with trench foot.
Trench foot hit almost everyone in the camp.
Oh my God!
You too could date a girl with feet like this.
Trench foot is essentially when the outermost layer of your skin, the epidermis, just gets a bit saturated and boggy and stagnant. It's delicious.
You can't treat this nasty condition, but you can prevent it by maintaining a strict hygiene routine.
You have to have your dry set of clothes or your clean set and your wet set. And during the day, you can be wet as you like, and in the evening, you have your dry set. Otherwise, you will get problems.
Look at Dan, he's on clothes dry already. That man never stops. His stuff has to be pristine constantly.
If there was an award for the cleanliest, well-kept, Dan would win them hands down.
In the end, I was the one having the last laugh. Although I wouldn't laugh at them being a doctor, that would be unfair.
The only downside of being an island medic is that if something happens to you, you've got to treat yourself.
In that situation, you are so tired, accidents happen.
I've got to stitch it.
Really?
Oh, it's fucking deep.
He's going to stitch himself back together, and I'm going to be here with a hand for him to squeeze.
You have to improvise and just make do.
Is he like Rambo, just stitching himself up in the field?
Yeah, but I've got local anaesthetic and
Rambo didn't.
And a sterile pack.
That's nice.
Oh, perfect.
I would say you've done cross-stitch before, my friend.
Yeah. Excellent. Job's a good one.
Well done.
One of the biggest sources of irritation came from the smallest of culprits.
On the island, basically everything is out to get you. The worst, top of the list, is the sandflies, like absolute bastards. I can't stop itching everywhere I go. They're just all over me. They're ruining my fucking life. They're everywhere. You just see them and you're like, you little shits, stop taunting me.
Oh my God. There is no worse form of torturous hell on earth than being eaten alive by bastard sandflies.
Oh, Jesus. Fuck you.
For some people, multiple bites from sandflies had a particularly nasty effect.
Oh, God. These ones all over here have now turned into one massive blister.
Dan's like, it was like a thriller video.
Fingers have swollen and I can't get my ring off. Completely stuck.
The islanders found a creative solution to keep them at bay.
So yeah, this is the classic island sleeping look. First thing you're gonna need, socks on your hands. Second thing, you're gonna need a piece of underwear. My sports bra that I brought with me is now my face.
Is there a trick to dealing with them that we just didn't work out?
It's just a reality, but you're going to get hammered and you need to man up and woman up, and it's just embrace it.
Catwin, can you just suck it up?
Good for you guys. And you can't describe to a viewer what it's like just day after day getting devoured by sandflies. Your faces tell a story.
Yeah.
Considering just how unrelenting and punishing this environment is, the final secret of survival, and the greatest, was just the sheer ability to keep going and endure.
It was way tougher than I ever expected. Way, way tougher.
As I sat on the island, I thought to myself, what the bloody hell are you doing here?
I long to see my wife and children.
So how did the islanders who made it to the end manage to tough it out?
Maybe 3 or 4 times where I thought, you know what, just jack it. But in the back of my mind, I just thought, you cannot do that. It's the chance of a lifetime, and I'd let everyone else down back home.
I was really surprised at how well everyone kept it together.
I'd found the one way to get through things was I used to just take myself, if I could get there, down towards the beach, sit on a piece of wood and just look out to sea and just deep breaths
a lot of us were kind of like climbing the walls. You realise how the human brain needs stimulation.
Do you know what I think we should do? A rain dance.
Right. Please stay positive.
Take those moves that you have normally at home, times them by 1,000,000 because of the environment you're in. You're going to start having a few mood swings and up and down. And I try to be proper chipper all the time and keep people's spirits up.
I want to cry for some reason, I don't know why.
I know it's hard dealing with Southerners. Look at them. I know they talk funny. I know they're really weak, like weak bones, muscles, everything. You're just going to have to grin and bear it. You might even like one of them.
On Christmas Day, when it's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon and everyone's a little bit drunk and a little bit tired, and then someone really forces some games down your neck. I was that one.
Go on, girl!
Just to try and just break the boredom a little bit.
I did role play in my head, having little chats with my wife just about inane stuff, you know, everyday sort of stuff that I wasn't getting. And for 5 minutes, I'll put myself in my kitchen or a nice little place that I'm used to. And then go, okay, that was a nice conversation. Anyway, I'm going to crack on with the day now. And that was a little slice of normality. And a little slice of normality goes a long way when you're 5,000 miles away.
After a month on the island, the 13 remaining islanders have made it through to the end. They were about to return to civilization.
There's no doubt, and I've seen this year after year, and we're now in the 3rd year, the island really dramatically changes people. It gives them an appreciation of the important stuff in life. You guys have been stripped right back to the raw bones, and it's inspiring to see, and you guys don't see it yet because you're in it. But I come in now, and you're different.
It just really makes you appreciate how great we have it in the UK and how lucky we are.
It makes me appreciate my family more than trinkets, money, anything. Family.
And it just clears the mind of all the other shit that you don't necessarily need in the Western world.
And you realise actually it's relationships and people that make your life amazing, and that's the great thing about it.
Imagine if you could do this island in a tablet and you give it someone. How many relationships would it save and how many families would it save?
Your challenge is to really hold on to these things because, as you're right, if you could take it in a tablet, you change the world. But not everyone can do this, you know? Yeah. OK, let's get you guys out of here.
It felt a little bit sad because it was the end of something, but, oh, the relief.
Yeah, baby.
Guaranteed the mood of most people was like, thank God for this, we are done, I just want to get off now. But the sense of achievement was massive, and to achieve it with such lovely people as well, I think it was a real sense of unity.
Oh, goodbye, Ireland! Bye!
Oh God, it was so heartbreaking. We'll never go back there, but at the same time, just like the wind in your hair, we were just so excited that we'd done it.
Them people made that experience for me. They were fantastic teammates and fantastic friends, and I'm glad that out of everything that we've been through, I'm so glad that I met them.
On dry land, a special welcoming party awaited them all.
Shit, it's fucking Paddy! Paddy!
Injured student Paddy.
Well, I absolutely loved that. And I was so glad that I was able to stay and see them come off.
Hello. You stopped my heart for a moment, you little shit.
It had been a month since the islanders had had any contact with their families.
Ah! Hello! Hi!
All the way through the island, the one thing that I missed more than everything else was my husband. And it was just like, oh my God, you know, there's my best friend, everything's going to be all right.
Guys, is that you? It's me! Yeah, I'm awake!
I can't tell you how nice it is to hear your voice. You're like a little warming rock in my heart.
Hello. Hi, Mum.
Hi, Katie, how are you?
I'm really good, how are you? I really missed my family. It was just like opening a floodgate, really.
Now that was a beautiful phone conversation.
When you've got used to surviving on the most basic of diets,
There's vegetables.
becoming reacquainted with everyday food can be overwhelming.
Oh my God.
Vegetables, I love you.
Nothing can describe the feeling of having that first bite of real, proper food. I will never forget it for as long as I live.
Oh, what's that? Oh, you're welcome, body.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, you deserve it.
I could just feel my body light up again. It was like someone was turning the dimmer switch up.
So salty. The chicken that we had, I thought it'd been spiked with something delicious, but it was just fried in a pan with a bit of salt.
Your taste buds are just exploding.
You're like a fruitgasm.
A fruitasm.
Fruitgasm.
Fruitgasm.
So their bodies could adjust, the islanders were advised not to overindulge.
Everyone went against the advice, though.
Not eat Snickers. We can talk about Snickers for ages, even if we can have a bite.
Look, Tilly went to the shop as well and spent about like $100 on just like loads of processed sugar, biscuits, crisps. We just sat and gorged. It was awesome.
Come on, I've been starving for 5 weeks. I'm not going to go, oh, I'll have a grape, you know, whatever.
Fast forward 24 hours, I was drunk, stuffed, and in agony in my stomach.
After so long surviving on virtually nothing, the most basic things become luxuries.
Here's to us.
Sometimes the best way to appreciate what you have is to be parted from it.
On the island, we were so devoid of anything sort of sophisticated or refined.
Everything smells so clean.
Getting back off the island was like discovering a whole new set of senses again.
Really? 1, 2, 3. Oh my God! That's insane!
That's amazing, look. Look.
Oh my gosh. That was amazing. Oh my God, it smells clean.
Feels weird.
There's no raindrops coming in. There's no sharing. There's no scorpions on the floor.
Feels like I'm on cloud 9.
Everybody should do this and we'd all be better people.
Okay, community.
I could go to sleep now. Wow, wow, wow.
It's really great. So great. Oh my God, I'm such a loser.
Back in the UK, after a 5,000-mile journey, the islanders are nearly home.
I'm looking forward to just smelling my mum. I know that sounds really weird, like, you know, when your mum like wears like a certain perfume and it reminds you of like Saturday night as a kid when your mum used to go out or something.
I'm glad to be home. I've got butterflies actually, and I can't wait to see my mum.
I'm asking myself, did I really do it? Or is it just a dream? And the only thing is, I'm looking at you with the camera, so it can't have been. Okay, here. Just those few seconds of my wife opening the door and seeing her and my children there made it all worth it.
I just craved seeing them for so long. And I could just see how proud they were of me as well.
Oh my God!
You skinny cat. I don't think there's like a better feeling than seeing your mum if you've not seen her for that long.
Oh, well done, darling, well done.
The island is the most horrible, amazing, evil, joyful experience. It's your worst nightmare and your greatest birthday all in one go.
Simon! Well done!
Anything can happen, and this is an extraordinary thing happening to an ordinary person.
Go on, Buzz.
I kind of went on the island a bit scared of stuff. Like, I never really lived out the things that I wanted to do. And I came off just genuinely believing I can do anything I want now.
I think I'm more confident in that I'm sure that I can do things.
I can't fucking believe that. That's outrageous.
I'm a strong person. I shouldn't be ashamed to say that. I genuinely feel like a superwoman.
The solitude on the island gives you great clarity. There are no distractions. Time goes so quickly, and you just have to grab life with both hands. You really do.
Okay, this is fucking dangerous.
Fucking hell.
I definitely think the experience makes you reevaluate everything about your life. Nothing matters except for the fact that you are safe and healthy and with the people that you love.
Oh, free five. For me, this experience isn't about survival, it's about transformation. And all of them want to go home, hug the people they love, say sorry to the people they've wronged, and live with a bit of calm, a bit of peace. And that's a great lesson for us all.